All right. Hey, how's everyone's week? Dragging on for me here. Busy. What I was actually working on was our summit schedule. Probably should have done it before now, but okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started because I pushed record. And so my thought tonight, actually, when I was talking to Tyler last night about like getting ready for the team call, I'm like, okay, what triggered in my head that I wanted to talk about mission statements with everyone? And I couldn't really remember because that's how my week has been. And so like I had to go back through like every notebook. And he's like, well, was it something Josh said? And I'm like, no. And then I realized that last week I had started watching one of the modules that he provided in the group from Andrea Crowder. And it was on branding, but actually she started it talking about mission statements and knowing your mission and having one. And I realized that I have one. I don't know if I've shared it with everyone. I know I've shared it with Tyler and my family, but that you all need your own, because I know there's times like in my personal health journey and in my coaching journey where I have lost sight of it and I've been distracted by the shiny things, and I didn't want to push through when things were hard because I forgot what I was working for. And so I wanted to make sure that everyone has their own mission, and this is going to be like a working call so that you actually walk away tonight with your own mission statement. And the great thing about it is I wrote my first one back in August, and it has changed 3 times since then, and I still don't think I'm finished with it, but I shared it with all of Facebook world tonight. So that was fun. And so that's what we're going to do. And I'm just trying to find ways that I can bring the content that like I'm learning from Josh. I can't share the videos. I mean, I could probably technically, but I don't want to because Stacy and I paid to be in the group along with 400 other people. And I just do believe there should be like some integrity to that and me not just like pirating and sharing everything. But I did make a few slides and combine some things I read with other trainings I've done, and like on his also like module on creating a mission statement, which once I got started, I'm like, gosh, we really should have talked about vision first, but that's okay. I think that this is really important, especially with a lot of us going to Summit, and a lot of us who've had like probably a really hard 2017 and have had to just push through, and maybe it's getting hard to push because we're not staying true to our mission or we don't have one. So I'm going to go back and forth between sharing a screen and not, because I want to give you like the question I'm going to ask you, but then I want us to come back together, and it might not be enough time between each question for you to get it all down, but hopefully you can get some thoughts so that at the end, within the next day or two, you have your own to share. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, like I said, mine has changed a lot since I first started in writing one way back in August. And I'm not sure why I didn't have one before then. Probably because I just typically do what people tell me to do, and no one ever told me I needed one. So creating a mission statement, Andrea Crowder started her video on branding with these questions. And then I'll also share this presentation with you so don't feel like you have to like scramble to write everything down. But basically, what do you want to do? Who do you want to help? Who do you want? How? So I cannot read. How do you want to be able to help them? How will it benefit the world? And then just to kind of paint that picture in your mind. And so if you have to, you want to think of it as writing a message for one person. You're not trying to save the whole world. you're trying to picture one person, their problems, their roadblocks, their fears, their dreams. That's who you are talking to. And that person that you're picturing is probably going to be a lot like the you that you see in your before pictures. So those are the questions we're going to use tonight to guide writing our mission statement. And your mission should speak to you and that person, because that's what's motivated you to even have a mission in the first place. Okay, I use this a lot, and it's the quote from Zig Ziglar. You can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And when Josh talked to us about creating a mission statement, that's what he started with. And like, why do you need a mission statement? He said it keeps you honest, it gives you purpose, it sustains you in times of drought. And I know it feels like maybe some of us have gone through those drought times. And when you live by a mission, you don't need anything else to go right. And you don't need it to go right because you're focused on that end mission, and you're always doing something to chip away at that mission. And I'll talk to you about the part about keeping you honest in whatever month, April. I had the chance, if I hit Success Club 10, by April 14th, I would have earned a picture with a trainer in Punta Cana. And I didn't do anything dishonest, but I didn't have the right purpose in my heart when I was reaching out to people. And in turn, I just didn't like the way I came off, and neither did anyone else. I didn't accomplish that goal because I was going about it because I wanted the celebrity trainer picture. I wasn't thinking about other people, and that's not my mission. And so I learned a good lesson there. And so this is why we need a mission, and we need a purpose for when those times when the going gets tough and we don't want to post our before and after pictures. We don't want to go live. We don't want to work. We don't want to invite people. We don't want to get uncomfortable. You need to remember why you're doing this and what your mission is. Okay, so there's going to be 4 steps. And this is the first one. And so you have hopefully a paper and pencil, or pen. This is the first thing you want to do is define it. So when you look at the world, what gives you pain and makes you want to create change? That's the first thing I want you to take a couple minutes and jot down. When you look at the world, what gives you pain and makes you want to create change? I'll give you a couple minutes to think or write on that, and then I'll share mine. And I stopped sharing my screen. So when you look at the world, what gives you pain and makes you want to create change or fight for change? Okay, you can finish up. I had like a timer going. This is like when you're teaching and you don't give enough wait time, but I want to be sure we get through all 4 of our steps and have something to share at the end. I'll just quickly share mine, and I added to it. Mine are moms that are suffering and don't feel worth it, families who look like they're in like trouble, whether that be like financial or health or like marital things, people who settle, families that are overscheduled, people who don't dream big enough, teachers who only teach for insurance or money or because they don't know what else to do. When you see kids who are unhealthy and like the parents that are just handing them more and more unhealthy things, that is my list. So that's kind of what I started with. Does anyone want to share their what gives you pain?
Mine's similar, I guess. I see moms who are overworked and forget about themselves. They raise their kids in a hostile environment because they have no escape and want to change the way they think about themselves and teach them that they're worth it.
I added to mine kids who don't know what good food tastes like because they haven't had fresh fruits and vegetables or exposed to the good foods that are out there because they've been living on boxed meals or fast food, whatever moms can do to survive. So I have a lot of the same ones that you have, Lindy, with moms struggling to be perfect and overscheduled. But I added in there watching my kids learning to eat good food or know what it tastes like and starting to want that. Those kids that don't know what that tastes like hurts my heart.
Actually, I was just talking to someone about that today. Okay, so that's just going to be like your jumping off point. We're going to go on to the second step. And step 2 is, what have you experienced or overcome in your life that you want to pass on to the world beyond you? And it could be even like the world, like your friends and family beyond you, or even bigger than that. So what have you experienced or overcome that you want to pass on to the world beyond you? And so like if this gets like really personal for you, don't worry about feeling like you have to share it, but just make a list of the things that you have overcome, and that someday if you and when you get strong enough that you think you could share some insight on. What have you experienced or overcome? Jot down some things there. If you're drawing a blank, what have you experienced or overcome that you want to pass on to the world beyond you? Okay. And again, like we might not be able to like make a complete list right now, but you'll have these slides. At first time I did this, my list was pretty short. It was like 5 things. And then going live every week has really helped me realize like what I've struggled with, and my list got a lot longer. So my first one was anxiety, and then being overstressed, bad body image, fear, perfectionism, emotional eating, a fear of like being able to dream big enough, questioned at one time if I've ever wanted to even be a mom, and then once I was a mom, if I was going to be a good enough mom. There was a period in my life where I did some over exercising, not because I had like an issue, but because I was bored in life. Not settling, not taking risks. And then finally, it's okay not to be what people want me to be or what people expected me to be, is my list of things that I've experienced or overcome. Does anyone want to share a few of theirs? Okay, that's okay. We can go on.
I can share.
Okay, thanks.
I feel like I haven't actually overcome any of this. I feel like I'm still a work in progress, but some of the similar stuff like emotional eating, just really accepting who I am and being more authentic to myself. And again, I think Facebook Live kind of helps, like you just talk and you can't script and you know, like you can't be fake and edit it and do everything. Just getting over making the excuses and making myself a priority. And then I've talked to Lindy a little bit about this, is I've struggled a lot just with binge eating, like my whole high school, like adult life. And I still struggle sometimes with it, just kind of like emotional eating that turns into like an all out binge fest and stuff. And it's getting better, but it's still like something I feel like I'm constantly fighting. So I don't know that I've actually overcome it, but those are some things.
I guess like this is like 50% overcome. But as far as my own like physical journey, my fear of being successful with that was something that was huge for me, which is why I think I did this for so long. And then just, I really didn't have a lot of self-confidence or didn't feel like I had a lot of self-worth before, because I did that for so long. So I think I've overcome that.
Yeah, and it says like experienced or overcome. So like that whole list of experience, that doesn't mean I've overcome all of it. Like if I had, I wouldn't be on a journey. It'd be over. That's not good. So that's okay. Okay. And if someone else want to go?
I was just going to share, I guess for me, the other piece was experiencing postpartum after being in the best shape of my life, and then experiencing postpartum after my second child was a very challenging time. And so it's always, you know, I think about those moms that are going through that and how difficult it is. So that's something I want to be able to share a little more of.
Yes, for sure. And like that's something that is like unique to some of you and not to me. Like Tyler thought I was on crack after I had our kids. Like I had this weird surge of energy for 6 weeks and then it was gone. And I suppose that's related to like the hormones and the hypothyroidism. But like I felt bad because I couldn't relate to my friends who were going through that. So like our journeys are all different, and it's why it's important that we do enough like PD and enough growth on ourselves that eventually we can share even privately with someone else who might be going through the same thing. Okay, so those are our experiences or what we have overcome. Can you see number 3? You guys can see 3, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't want to be talking to Like, I want you to not see. Okay. So if you could sum up the difference you want to make in the world in 3 power words, what would they be? So like 3 big words. So like, don't make it real wordy. Just try to think of 3 words that would sum up making a difference about those things you talked about in 1 and 2. If that makes sense. If you could sum up the difference you want to make in the world in 3 power words, what would they be? And if it's hard to narrow it down to 3, just come close. And now looking at mine, I already think that it's changing. You could sum up the difference you want to make in the world in 3 words. What would they be? So 3 power words. I struggled with this one a little bit. When I did it, I came up with 4 words. Mine were healthy habits, lifestyle, and then the next one's 2 words, but game changer. But now when I went over my list of 1 and 2, I added to that imperfection, progress, self-worth, and dream. Anyone, which I realize is longer list. Anyone have any power words they'd like to share?
I can share. I have to go back just for a second to number 2, though, and then I'm overcoming generations of limiting beliefs. I know we all have those limiting beliefs, but one thing that I heard on some stuff I read this week or listened to this week was all it takes, the problem with limiting beliefs is all it takes is one actual person to tell you that your limiting belief is true, and you believe it. We all have those voices, but when one person says, no, you can't do that, you're like, oh, okay, no, I believe those things in my head. So trying to come over that, over 1 and 2, my 3 words, pretty simple. Well, it's 4, but I cheated. You're worth it. So that's really what matters. So.
I wasn't not listening to you. I had to close the door, otherwise I can hear your feedback. Does anyone other have any other words they want to share?
Mine were empower, inspire, change. Good one, Chris.
Okay. Now we're on to the last step 4. Why is my computer being weird? Sorry. So now what we're going to do is when I was in the classroom, I would tell people to make my kids to make a mind movie. So what you're going to do is put the first one, the pain you see in the world and what you want to fight for, what you've experienced or overcome, and your power words to paint a picture and put it into one sentence. And that's the hard part, is you want it to be something like, I know in like all your guys' workplaces, you see mission statements posted around the school or the hospital or whatever. I don't know if you guys have one at Dual, Jen, but no one usually knows them. And that's not okay, because everyone should be working like towards the same mission. And because we are all our own coaches and we're all independent from each other, yes, we're all coaches on Team Game Changers, but our hearts are all different, so our missions are all different. But what I want you to do is put 1, 2, and 3 together to try to form one sentence that paints a picture of what you want to do as a coach. And it's weird because I'm finding my first one from August and my second one, and I can't find my third one, and they're like completely different. So take a couple of minutes now to try to create that one sentence by putting steps 1, 2, and 3 together. That makes sense. Okay. You might not be done, but you can finish jotting and then always go back to this too. So when I first wrote mine in August, it was when I was a part of a push group that we use the Success Principles book. And when I was preparing for this call, I tried to look in the book where I even found the information on mission statements, and I couldn't find it. So obviously I did not know what I was doing because I don't like my first one. My first one was, my purpose is to use my creativity and motivated personality to lead and inspire people to work together to help others to be happy and healthy. It like did not resonate with me, and obviously it didn't because I couldn't even remember it. So then in January, I rewrote mine to say, my mission is to change the game of life and be a game changer for others to live healthy lifestyles. So I still felt something was missing, and I didn't realize it till tonight. And I still think I have some tweaking to do with the words, but a couple of the power words and the things that I have been working on overcoming are what I was able to incorporate. And it's weird because it's been through my live Facebook videos that I realized how many people have these same issues with perfectionism, and how sometimes I'm still overcoming it hardcore. And so this is a little more wordier than I want to, but what I just wrote down was my mission is to be a game changer for others like me, to help them dream big, establish healthy habits, and choose progress over perfection to change their game of life. So I kind of went with those, obviously, the big words like game changer. Like for me, it's important for that to be in there because that's what this is all about for me. I added the part about dreaming big. I have my healthy habits, which is how I got the ball rolling, one habit at a time. And then I added that business about perfection in there and still talking about the game of life. So that is how I incorporated 1, 2, and 3. And that's something like, I feel like I almost have it. But it took me like 4 times now. Does anyone have a sentence they want to share? Bueller.
My kids are all still awake, so they've all been saying goodnight to me. So I didn't get the full-time teacher.
I know, I'm sorry. It's hard. It's also weird if we just sit here and stare at each other for minutes on end. Some people write fast and work fast. But this is your assignment if you didn't get to finish it. Because I want you to share it with us and with me because I want to do something special with it. And I really feel for some of us, this is the missing piece. Like, why did I go this long without even having it? And why did I just settle for that thing I wrote in my notebook? That's not okay. Like, if I want to affect the kind of change that I say I want to, I need a mission. And so now when you have this, like you're going to still do it even when we get off this call, you're going to use this to guide what you do. You're going to add this in your workspace to your affirmations. You're going to say it out loud when you do your affirmations. And I do want to hear yours. And so maybe you can bring them to the next call and I will post these slides so that you have them. But like seriously, it was like 3 to 4 easy steps. And you're going to need more than like maybe the 2 minutes that I gave you with my timer going off to write it. But those are the 3 questions you're going to want to use to guide you to get to that, the number 4, where you paint your picture of your mission. What change do you want to affect on the world, whether that be a small piece of your world or a big piece? And it just goes back to like what I said on my live video tonight. I just think about my dad. Like he has done very little health-wise. I feel like we're passing notes. I can't. We've talked about this. I cannot concentrate on the chat and people commenting and keeping a freaking thought in my head. Okay, I need to get caught up on this because I don't like when people laugh at me.
Yeah.
And then I don't know
Oh,
how.
we love you, Lindy. You know that.
Did anyone else fold their notes into triangles?
Oh, we did that all the time. Do you remember how many? Oh my gosh.
I probably still have them. Tyler wants me to throw them.
I used to love your notes because of your handwriting. I think I probably kept them all.
Oh, I like this. Be a positive force. Ooh, I like that. I wish. Hi, Chloe.
Oh, he says hi. He's very cute.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now I don't remember what I was saying, but do it before next week because you have to share it or send it to me because I'm going to do something with it. That's me being bossy. Oh, I know. Healthy habit. Okay, so my dad, he has only done like one small thing. He drinks a shake every day, which then in turn, he only eats one other time a day, which is not good, I get. But it's like totally helped him just by doing that one thing. And then what if the next time it's something else? Like he actually decides to drink water instead of Gatorade all day. Not everyone is like ready for our full challenge pack. But we have to like meet people where they are, and our mission statement will help us do that. Anyways.
I really agree with that, Lindy. I have two people that have the UV2 gal I was talking about. She's a teacher, so it's the end of school year craze and stuff. And she's like, I don't know if I'm going to be ready to do a group, but I'm really interested in your workout, but just check in with me next month because life, you know. And so I just had to get out of my mind, like I can't think about Success Club points and that she can be my number 4, my number 6. Like if all she wants is a workout, that's great. I'll get her hooked up with a workout and give her whatever support she needs to actually use it and be successful. And that's where we'll be at. And hopefully I can help her change other aspects because just in general, she has a lot of weight to lose and a lot of health stuff. But I just need to remember that whatever I can do to help her is going to make a difference regardless of if I get a challenge pack out of it or not. So I just have to remind myself that.
And I need to go back and revisit my list. Like, you know, like in a lot of the training groups we've done, I've asked you guys to make a list of 30, a list of 100. And if you've read Get Over Your Damn Self, it asks you to make like a chicken list, like a list of people you're too afraid to talk to, and a list of people you could sell anything to. And like for most people, that should be like all their family members. I know some people in our family, right, Tyler? But we need to remember that Shakeology is seriously for everyone. Like my dad will never work out. I can guarantee you that. Not gonna happen. Like in fact, his girlfriend brought the 21 Day Fix over to his house and worked out in front of him, and he sat there on the couch and laughed. Not cool, but he's not gonna work out. He's just not. But some like good nutrition is for everyone, and old people, young people. I mean, I don't know. I really had to go back and look at my list, and like there's people I had actually crossed off. I'm like, oh, they would never do the 21 Day Fix. They would never do Sean Week. But they can drink a shake. And that's why I see my market. I was talking to Tyler about this. My market has totally changed from young to old. So go back and revisit your list too, and bring your mission statements next time, or send it to me this week. And if you put it in the chat, can you send it to me, because I will lose it. I have like no way to like save the chat. But because of my dumb free thing that Tyler wants me to upgrade, I will start the summit link next after I pee. Okay? Okay, bye. Have a good week. Love you all.
Love you guys.
Bye.